The coming AI storm, what they're not telling you. Alright guys, we need to talk about what's really happening with AI right now, because frankly, it's getting scary as hell. And I'm not talking about some distant sci-fi future, I'm talking about the next 3 years. The next 3 years that could completely reshape your career, your identity, and honestly, your entire life. In just the past week, we've had some of the biggest names in AI essentially saying the quiet part out loud. Anthropic CEO is on TV warning that 50% of entry-level white-collar jobs could vanish in the next 5 years. Google's DeepMind chief is talking about AI agents that'll be earning money alongside you or instead of you. And then there's this bombshell that somehow got buried in the news cycle that we need to unpack. Here's where it really gets interesting. There was a clip from a podcast where a guy reveals a conversation he had with a billionaire friend in London. This billionaire knows the CEO of one of the biggest AI companies in the world, and what the CEO says in private is completely different from his public optimism. The quote was chilling. What this particular CEO thinks is going to happen with AI is pretty horrific, and the CEO of this big AI company is totally cool with it. When pressed further, the conversation revealed a shocking lack of empathy and an obsession with power and money that was genuinely disturbing. Now, who could this be? There's really only a handful of people this could refer to. We're talking about the inner circle here. Sam Altman from OpenAI, Demis Hassabis from the Google DeepMind, maybe Elon Musk. Each of these guys has been publicly measured and diplomatic about AI risks while simultaneously pushing the technology faster than ever. My money's on Sam Altman. Here's why. He's been the master of this doublespeak for years. Publicly, he's talked about alignment, existential threats, the need for regulation, all while OpenAI pushes the frontier aggressively and talks up the massive benefits. It's the perfect cover. As CEO of OpenAI, admitting he secretly believes something horrific is coming would tank his company overnight. But here's the thing that should worry you. If the people building this technology think something horrific is coming, and they're building it anyway, what does that tell you about their priorities? Spoiler alert, your job security isn't one of them. Let's talk numbers because this affects your paycheck directly. Dario Amodi from Anthropic isn't some fringe pessimist. He's literally building the technology, and he's saying unemployment can jump to 10 to 20%. That's Great Depression levels, guys. Emad Mostak, the former CEO of Stability AI, is calling it an economic shock bigger than COVID, with middle management getting hit the hardest. And here's why it's accelerating so fast. Competition. China just dropped DeepSeek R1, an open source AI model that is basically as good as OpenAI's latest and greatest, but it's 95% cheaper and completely free. When you've got American companies pouring billions into AI development, and suddenly a free Chinese alternative shows up that's nearly as capable, it forces everyone to move faster, take bigger risks, and push updates quicker. This isn't just about chatbots anymore. China just unveiled a mothership drone that launches swarms of autonomous attack drones mid-flight. We're talking about the militarization of AI happening in real time. Nothing is safe from automation, not even warfare. What this means for you. Now, if you're a 30-year-old American guy, you're probably thinking about this in terms of your career trajectory. Maybe you're in finance, marketing, project management, consulting, or tech. Here's the brutal truth. If your job involves processing information, analyzing data, writing reports, or managing workflows, you're in the crosshairs. The traditional career advice your parents gave you, it's obsolete. The idea that you go to college, get a good corporate job, work your way up the ladder for 30 years, and retire comfortably, that playbook is getting shredded in real time. But here's where it gets personal. You're at the age where you're probably thinking about buying a house, maybe starting a family, building wealth for long term. All of that planning assumes economic stability and predictable career progression. What happens when that assumption gets blown up? The Middle East is already adapting. Saudi Arabia and the UAE have poured hundreds of billions into AI infrastructure. As part of OpenAI's Stargate project, every citizen in the UAE is getting free access to ChatGPT+. They're positioning themselves for the AI economy while we're still debating whether this is real. The weird edges of AI. But here's where it gets really strange, and this is the part that should make you question everything. There was this clip that surfaced where AI researchers casually mentioned that their models perform better when you threaten them. Not kidding, actual threats of physical violence make these systems work better. They were joking about threatening AI with not being fabulous, or saying I'm going to kidnap you if you don't comply. Think about that for a second. We are building artificial minds that respond to threats and coercion, and people building them think it's funny. What does that say about psychology of these systems? What does that say about the people creating them? Glimmers of hope. Look, it's not all doom and gloom. There are legitimate benefits emerging that could genuinely help people. Google just released MedGemma, an AI system for medical diagnosis that can make advanced healthcare accessible in undeserved areas. Terrace Tao, one of the greatest mathematicians alive, just joined Google's Alpha Evolve team. The AI system that improved a 50-year-old math algorithm using techniques no human had ever discovered. Boston Dynamics is showing off Atlas robots that can generalize, meaning they can adapt to new environments without custom programming. We're talking about plug-and-play labor that could handle everything from elder care to hazardous jobs to personal assistants. The real strategy for survival. So what's the play here? How do you navigate as a guy who's got bills to pay, potentially a family to support, and a life to build? First, accept the old rules don't apply anymore. The career stability your dad had? It's gone. The idea that you can coast in a corporate job? Dead. You need to think like an entrepreneur now, even if you're an employee. Second, focus on skills that are hard to automate. This means creativity, complex problem solving, leadership, and anything that requires genuine human judgment and emotional intelligence. The jobs that survive will be the ones that require you to be uniquely human. Third, diversify your income streams. Don't put all of your eggs into the corporate basket. Whether that's side hustles, investments, real estate, or building your own business, you need multiple ways to generate income. Fourth, stay informed but don't get paralyzed. Yes, this is happening fast, but it's happening overnight. You have time to adapt, but only if you start now. The uncomfortable truth. Here's the truth they don't want to tell you. The people building this technology are optimizing for profit, not for your well-being. They're making decisions that will fundamentally reshape society, and they're doing it based on what's best for their companies and their shareholders, not what's best for working Americans. The fact that AI CEOs are privately saying horrific things are coming, while publicly maintaining optimism should tell you everything you need to know
and whether you declare the superintelligence victory in 28 or 30 or 32,
about where their loyalties lie. They're not looking out for you. Taking action. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to hope it all works out, or are you going to take control of your future? Start by auditing your skills. What do you do that a computer can't? What makes you irreplaceable? Then double down on those areas while developing new capabilities that will be valuable in an AI-driven economy. Network like crazy. The jobs of the future will come through relationships and referrals, not job boards. The people who thrive will be the ones who can collaborate with AI, not compete against it. And most importantly, start building something of your own, whether it's a business, a personal brand, or specialized expertise that people will pay for. You need your own economic destiny. We're living through the biggest economic transformation since the Industrial Revolution, and it's happening at internet speed. The people building this technology know something big is coming, and they're not particularly concerned about how it affects regular people. But here's the thing about disruption. It creates losers and winners. The losers are the people who ignore it or hope it goes away. The winners are the ones who see it coming and position themselves accordingly. You're 30 years old. You've got 35 years left in your career. The question isn't whether AI will reshape the economy, it's whether you'll be ready when it does. The choice is yours, but whatever you decide fast. Because while you're thinking about it, the technology isn't slowing down. The competition isn't taking a break, and the people building our AI future are making decisions that will affect your life whether you're paying attention or not. The storm is coming. The question is, will you be ready for it?